a trade in draft week now in the NHL, as the Anaheim Ducks have sent Trevor Zegras to the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for, well, not a lot. As Ryan Poehling, a second round pick in 2025 and a 2026 fourth round pick are on their way to Anaheim. So, full disclosure, I have never been the biggest Zegras fan. I think the hype has, I think, far exceeded any sort of production. And I think at this point, Zegras is what he is, to be perfectly frank. I don't see there being another superstar quality in him to rise him to any sort of a level that anyone thought he was going to get to. I just think he is what he is, and that's fine. But I do know that the hype has been kind of high around this guy for a little bit. So mentally, I was prepared. When I saw the headline, Zegras traded, I was mentally prepared to hate this deal for the Philadelphia Flyers. And then you see it. And I don't think it's bad for Philadelphia at all. Poehling 12 goals in 68 games with the Flyers last season. This team has more second-round picks than they know what to do with. Now they only have 3. Whatever will they do? So to turn that and a fourth into Zegras, that's pretty impressive. Even if Zegras doesn't turn out to be a superstar, he's still someone who can put up 20. So this feels very, very worth it on the Philadelphia Flyer side of things. You don't give up anything that feels like it was a foundational piece in the slightest. And you get a guy who, while I may not see that for him, some people have thought he can be that sort of a player at different points in his career. So why not? Like, the Flyers are in the let's try some stuff era of their rebuild, retool, whatever it is. So I don't hate this for them at all. Take a lottery ticket on a kid, see if he can maybe hit that potential and roll the dice while giving up basically things that you have a bunch of or can get a bunch of relatively easily. So I like this move on the Philadelphia side quite a bit. Do I think it makes them a playoff team? I do not. Do I think it makes them anything, like, are they a significantly better hockey team than they were before this trade? Yeah, this is a talent improvement, and it is a bet that this kid figures it out in the future, and maybe you have a little bit something extra. But it's just, this was a trade that just made their team better. And so I like that, even from a team that was out of the playoffs last year. For the Ducks, on the surface, I don't like this move for them all that much. Like, this feels like you maybe could have got a little bit more out of a trade for a potentially promising young player, although, again, one that I don't think all that highly of. But I do think that it kind of speaks to maybe a bigger move coming, because this trade would be available in August if you wanted it, right? I think it speaks to something really large coming from the Ducks. They shed close to $4 million in cap space. Now it gives them 36. So it's not like they were, oh, well, now we can go out and get somebody. They had a bunch of that before. We do keep hearing that they are going to be gigantic players in free agency this year. And so I wonder if an extra $4 million to spend doesn't just mean, okay, we're going to overpay Mitch Marner. I wonder if they are looking at like a Marner, Ekblad sort of a thing, or like one of the Marner plus a Panther, basically, is I wonder what they're looking at. If they're going to try to bring in a Marchand for their young group, if they're going to try to bring in a proven Sam Bennett to offset whatever bad playoff karma Mitch Marner may have, or an Aaron Ekblad to solidify your defense so that Radko Gudas doesn't have to play top 4 minutes for your team anymore. It feels like this was, let's free up a little bit more space. Let's free up a roster spot for some young forward or a free agent to come in, and let's really put ourselves in a spot to shake this thing up this year. Because the Ducks feel like they are on that step. And I've said before, like, it feels like when they break out, it isn't just going to be, oh, look at that, the Ducks have squeaked into the playoffs. It's going to be a, oh, good heavens, that this team's one of the best, that they're going to win the Pacific. You know, like, it feels like they've been right up against it, and now they're going to skip a couple of steps, and now they're hosting a series in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's just like, oh, dang, here they come. Like, this feels like that type of an off season and that type of a season ahead for the Anaheim Ducks, and I think this one sets it up there. So if we're just grading the trade, just on the right here, right now, what we think it is 1:58 Mountain Time on June 23rd. If we are grading this trade at this exact moment in time, Flyers win, and they do pretty well in it. And it is a loss for the Ducks, who get not a whole lot for a player that they invested quite a bit into as a 9th overall selection. But we'll wait and see what happens with this particular move.